From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordo, and this is your News 8 Daily for Friday, April 3rd. It's Good Friday. A lot of people are going to be headed out for different celebrations today and through the weekend, and Easter on Sunday. Starting out warm and breezy today. Could get up to the upper 70s. It's going to be a little unsettled, though. You have a chance for showers or storms here and there.
Central Indiana. Wish TV is now live on YouTube TV and Hulu Live, offering more hours of local programming than any other station. Search for Wish TV or look for CW8 on both YouTube TV and Hulu Live to find us. Watch local news, sports, and lifestyle shows live from Wish TV. You can still catch Wish TV free over the air or stream it live on wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile apps. Wish TV, available in more places for the latest news, weather, and sports.
Michigan's head coach Dusty May is headed home to Indiana for the Final Four. May is a graduate of Eastern Green High School in Bloomfield, Indiana. It's just his second season with the Wolverines, and already he is considered one of the best coaches in college basketball. As our Andrew Chernoff explains, a former IU head coach is a big reason why.
Back home again in Indiana. A special weekend for Hoosier native Dusty May.
Come a full circle, obviously, to be able to participate in this game with our group.
A far cry from the year 2000, when May, an IU senior at the time, was in Indy at the Final Four, bugging head coaches in search of a job.
Myself and a group of managers were up just harassing coaches, trying to figure out how we could get any position in coaching.
One coach who saw something in May was former IU head coach Mike Davis. Davis got to know May when May was a student manager under Bob Knight.
Him having success is no surprise to me. He's a competitor, a real big competitor, so I'm just proud of him.
Davis hired May as IU's video coordinator back in 2002 before moving him up to an administrative assistant. The pair became close, spending hours in the car together, going on recruiting trips. In fact, Davis called May the road warrior.
Whenever we're together, we would hit 5-6 cities in a day. We'd cover, multiple home visits and school visits in one day, and it just became a funny nickname.
We stayed on the road in the car driving, had thousand conversations. And, he was a basketball guy, but he was a relentless worker, and that's the thing that I really noticed about him and loved about how hard he worked.
The duo worked together even after IU. Davis hired May as an assistant coach when Davis was at UAB.
I can remember a phone call I had with a couple of my friends, about 4 of us on the call. A couple was coaches, and when his name came up for a lot of the big jobs, people always question, well, you think he'd be able to handle it? I said, look, Dusty can handle anything.
There will be plenty of college basketball fans rooting for Michigan this weekend, and that includes Mike Davis. He's hoping that his buddy will cut down the nets on Monday night.
That'll be a dream. It's like I cut the nets down.
And if that happens, May will give plenty of credit to Davis.
The recruiting, the people side of it, I take so many things from Coach Davis to this day, but the things I'll remember most are the laughs we shared. He's such a fun guy to be around. There's absolutely no way I'd be here today if our paths didn't cross.
A Hoosier bond that will never be broken. Andrew Chernoff, Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Happening today, you can watch the Final Four teams practice for free. Doors open at 10 this morning at Lucas Oil Stadium. The Illinois Fighting Illini open practice starting at 11 this morning. UConn Huskies featuring Indiana native Braylon Mullins practice at noon. At 1 this afternoon, the Michigan Wolverines take the court. Then Arizona, the Wildcats, practice at 2 this afternoon. Also at Lucas Oil, the National Association of Basketball Coaches College All-Star Games happening. It tips off at 3:35 this afternoon, and it is free. Christian Park on the city's east side now has a new basketball court and recreational space thanks to the men's Final Four Legacy Project. The renovated facility features an upgraded gym, basketball court, fitness room, and multi-purpose spaces for activities like volleyball, dance classes, and movie nights. Local artist J.D. Bills also made a mural in the gym. Officials say the space will serve serve thousands of people living in Indianapolis. Also today, Georgia Street will be a party for all basketball fans. The NCAA Men's Final Four tip-off tailgate starts today. We have a map of it on wishtv.com if you want to check it out. The event will be just outside the Final Four Fan Fest on Georgia Street at the Indiana Convention Center. Organizers say there will be a variety of events along Georgia Street, including giveaways, basketball-themed activities, and food, drinks. Today's tailgate runs from 4 this afternoon to 11 tonight. It is free. Tailgate continues through the weekend. It runs 1 to 11 tomorrow, and then on Sunday it's from noon to 6 in the evening. Action continues on Monday, too, from 4 in the afternoon to 11 that night. With the Final Four action happening this weekend, we want to make sure you know where everything is and when, so just go to wishtv.com and find this story. New on Daybreak, police say a fight between two people led to a deadly shooting on the west side of Indianapolis. IMPD says a man was killed just after 10:45 last night at a home on Leisure Manor near the airport. Officers say they have a person of interest detained, but so far no one is under arrest. We now know the name of the 11-year-old girl who went missing in the East Fork of the White River. The Columbus Fire Department says the body of Athena Lyons was recovered yesterday. Indiana DNR says she was found in 10 feet of water, about 80 feet from where she was last seen. She was first reported missing at around 6:30 Tuesday evening. Police say she was with friends on a sandbar in the river in Mill Race Park when she waded out too far and was caught in the river's current. The fire department posted on social media that people are sharing an image online claiming it was from the rescue. It is not, and they are urging people to stop posting it. Your statewide news network covers Jennings County, where a jury found a 16-year-old guilty of raping a nonverbal 7-year-old boy on a school bus. Landon Doty was convicted of 12 charges, including multiple counts of rape. Prosecutors say due to the severity of the case, Doty was tried as an adult. Police say he sexually assaulted the nonverbal autistic child on a school bus last year. They say the bus driver noticed that the boy appeared to be sitting on Doty's lap before they were separated. Doty's sentencing hearing is scheduled for later this month. The family of the 7-year-old victim has filed a civil lawsuit against the Jennings County School Corporation, a bus driver, and a bus monitor. Lawyers for the family say the sexual assault was preventable and only happened because of a complete failure to properly supervise. They say there were 14 instances where the child was physically or sexually assaulted. The family is seeking damages of more than $10 million. An Indianapolis family is challenging police after a shooting left their relative dead and another in jail. News 8's Alan Self spoke to the family.
Jamar Thomas's loved ones are asking police for surveillance footage from the night of the altercation.
Not only did she find out the process that her father was murdered and taken, she's hearing the narratives that's been spoken about her father on the news that are false. And now she's his next of kin, so she has to plan a funeral.
Community members and Jamar Thomas's family protested at the Indy Liberation Center against IMPD Thursday night. Veronica Williams, overwhelmed, described how Thomas's 18-year-old daughter was too distraught to attend. Jamar's fiancée, Kendra Young and Williams, who said Thomas's death united them, shared that they had just returned from a Las Vegas trip before rescheduling less than 24 hours before the shooting.
You know, like I said, he wanted to just go get married, be spontaneous, but I'm like, no, let's just wait a little bit. Now, I'm mad that I don't get to, experience that with him.
The family is adamant Jamar and his nephew Lamonte Thomas were unarmed. They are specifically calling out what they believe is a double standard in the justice system. They put out that the shooter, who was white, remains free, while Jamar is dead and Lamonte, both black men, remains in custody.
He's a white man, but shot his uncle in his face.
This robber, technically, threw the gun 10 feet away and stayed. What robber do you know is going to come and stay till the police come? And rob somebody and they're going to stay until the police come.
And did not get credit for that, because if he would not have done it, how many more rounds would that man have shot off? How many other people could have been shot?
This follows the March 7th shooting near East Washington and North Pennsylvania streets. Police say video shows the men tackling a victim from behind. The family insists the pair were simply picking up food and were the ones targeted. They say surveillance footage, if released by IMPD, would resolve all the confusion. The family is demanding the immediate release of Lamonte Thomas, who is currently being held on a $12,000 bond for robbery and battery from the Marion County Jail.
We just want footage. That's it, footage. We just want footage. He did not rob anybody, and we want to prove that this was not a robbery. The robbery was not mentioned by any witnesses.
News 8 has reached out to IMPD. We have not yet heard back. Legal proceedings for Lamonte Thomas continue as a jury trial is scheduled to start on April 27th. In Indianapolis, I'm Alan Self for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
IMPD says they managed to bust a suspected drug house thanks to the community stepping up. 18 people were arrested and now face various charges. News 8's Garrett Berquist talked to neighbors who say they hope the bust turns out to be a good thing for their neighborhood.
The neighbors along North Capitol Avenue are quick to point out the changes they're making. You can see new paint and siding here and there. Now, the neighborhood got some unexpected help.
It's actually crazy. This is actually one of the better neighborhoods in Indianapolis. I'll put this up there in like top 3, top 5 neighborhoods in all of Indiana.
The neighborhood is a regentrified neighborhood. It's growing. It has some of the original owners of the house since I believe in the 1960s or 70s.
On Wednesday morning, IMPD's SWAT team raided this home. They found cocaine, meth, Xanax, 2 handguns and ammunition, and lots of drug paraphernalia.
The drugs that we seized yesterday will no longer be circulating in our community, specifically in that community where we were receiving the complaints, along with the fact that the firearms that we seized have been taken off the street as well. That is one less firearm that can be used in a shooting.
Police arrested a total of 18 people when they raided the house. Most face charges of possession and visiting a common nuisance. 3 of them, Ramon Cork, Antonio Richardson, and Aaron Thompson, are charged with dealing in cocaine. McDaniel says the community played a key role. He says police began investigating several weeks ago after neighbors reported drug dealing and traffic.
Without the information that we received from them, this investigation never begins, and we don't get some of these narcotics and drugs and firearms off the streets that we seized yesterday.
Starks and McLam told me they're glad IMPD was able to clear out a suspected drug house. I asked them what they want to see next.
I think more interaction, more communication, partnering with police officers and other entities that can really keep this neighborhood as a balance and people can see the growth of it.
We definitely got to lower the amount of traffic, dirty traffic in this neighborhood for sure. You don't want a lot of randoms walking around here. You know, with drugs comes violence. So it definitely is a plus. It definitely is a +1 on the scoreboard for us.
Police told me detectives are still working to identify some of the substances that were found inside the home. On the near north side, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
NASA's Artemis II crew is officially headed to the moon after final major engine firing last night. Today, the 4 astronauts will conduct a CPR demonstration and test deep space communications. John Lawrence reports.
My body's getting reacclimated. It's been a few years since I've been up here.
NASA is about to experience another giant leap for mankind.
We have just completed the translunar injection burn. Preliminary reports of a good burn.
In layman's terms, that means the process needed to boost the spaceship's speed fast enough to break free of the Earth's circular orbit was successful.
We all expected a really just dynamic ride, a lot of motion. We were prepared to potentially not being able to see telemetry, maybe even not being able to, touch switches, and it was very smooth.
The 4 astronauts on this 10-day mission are paving the path for future lunar surface operations as they circumnavigate the Earth's only natural satellite.
Humanity has once again shown what we are capable of, and it's your hopes for the future that carry us now on this journey around the moon.
This historic trip marks the first time humans left Earth's orbit since 1972's Apollo 17 mission.
First and foremost, I would just like to say thank you. Your support and trust in us has enabled this.
The crew is expected to return to Earth on April 10th.
NASA is pushing to accelerate our return to the surface of the moon. Artemis II is a key first step to that. Shake down that rocket, make sure we understand how that spacecraft works.
I'm John Lawrence for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
President Trump has fired another member of his cabinet. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi has been removed from her post. Karen Caifa has the latest and who's now leading the Justice Department.
President Trump, in a statement on Truth Social, described Pam Bondi as a great American patriot and a loyal friend, but he offered no specific reason as to why she had been ousted from her role as U.S. Attorney General. Bondi is now the second Trump cabinet member ousted in recent weeks after Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was fired last month. Sources said the president recently ramped up conversations with allies about firing Bondi and had what one source described as a tough conversation with Bondi about her future on Wednesday. Among Trump's frustrations with Bondi, according to sources, he felt she hadn't investigated or prosecuted enough of his political opponents and was displeased with her handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. In his statement, the president added that Bondi would be, quote, transitioning to a much needed and important new job in the private sector. Republican Congressman Thomas Massie, who found himself at odds with Trump as he led Capitol Hill efforts to release the Epstein documents, a push Trump initially opposed, wrote on social media Thursday, "I support Trump firing Pam Bondi. I hope the next AG will release all the Epstein files according to the law and follow up with investigations, prosecutions, and arrests." Some congressional Democrats expressed sharp criticism of Bondi's tenure. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer wrote, "Good riddance." Others wondering what's next.
I think it is a win that she is no longer in this job. Now, who comes next? Who could be even more of a sycophant? We will see. But I also think, I hope, this is the beginning of a trend here, sort of a breaking of the dam. We've seen Secretary Noem out, now the Attorney General out.
Bondi will be replaced for now by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, Trump said. Blanche served as Trump's defense attorney for some of the criminal cases that Trump faced during the time in between his two presidential terms. Blanche also was a federal prosecutor in the Southern District of New York before he went into private practice. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
President Donald Trump now says he will soon sign an order to pay all Department of Homeland Security employees who have gone without paychecks for 48 days during the partial government shutdown. There was no legislative resolution yesterday after both the House and Senate met for just a few minutes, but the president and Republican leaders say they have a plan to fund the agency as part of a two-step process. The House also is considering a Senate plan it had previously rejected to fund the agency. Ticket prices for this year's World Cup final in the U.S. are going up again. FIFA raised the cost of its higher tier seats for the championship game to nearly $11,000. That is up $1,000 from earlier in the sale phases. The increase comes as FIFA opened its final round of ticket sales yesterday. Prices have now gone up multiple times since tickets first went on sale last year. FIFA says the pricing reflects strong demand. The Indiana Fever could learn today if some players on their roster will be joining brand new teams entering the WNBA. The expansion draft is set for 3:30 today. The new teams are the Portland Fire and Toronto Tempo, and they're going to select up to 12 players each to join their team from existing teams in the league. Existing teams can protect up to 5 players who cannot be drafted. The Fever have not announced the players they are protecting. One would expect, likely, that includes Caitlin Clark. Portland and Toronto are only allowed to select a maximum of 2 players each from the existing teams. And this has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and wishtv.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.